Hello my friends, Alfred Dardo, the Rebel Turner, and I'm back with the second piece. That was the gift from my friend on Facebook that came all the way from California. Let's see what's inside this one. Initially I was thinking that I would do the turning, leave the bottom pretty much as it was, and just create a little divot point in the middle. And because I wanted to preserve all this burly bark area that's here. So, but I can't possibly sit this just flat and just have a cup in the middle. At least I don't think so. So I'm gonna see what I can do to create a little bit of character to it. Still maintain a majority of this, but take some of this down from both sides. Feather it up slightly from the bottom, feather it down slightly from the top, and then maintain still a good looking piece. But I'm going to let it speak to me. I'm gonna let it develop as it's going along in the lathe. Let's get started. This should be fairly straightforward, fairly quick, and I'll try not to bore you with lengthy details in my thought process on this one. So I'm gonna create a small tenon over here, and like I said, and see where it goes. Speed is at 930 RPM. I can tell you the colors on this are very different from the piece that I just turned. Very vivid red on this. Really going to be beautiful. And really, this is a beautiful piece with showing up all these details, and I don't want to lose what I see on the top. So I'm actually going to turn this in from this edge to be a bowl and forget the idea that I was just saying about the bark. I will maintain the bowl somewhat on the inside over here. So I'm going to... It's important that I do the turning while I'm visualizing this side right here, or else I'm going to lose quite a bit of this. And if I mount it, I'm going to see if I can get back there without disturbing any of this edging. That's the goal. And I think that's the idea and where I want to go. So I'm going to lose the bark per se effect, but I'm not going to lose this effect that's on this part, which is the biggest part of it. Woodturning is always deciding actually what is the best that you can get out of a piece. And that does not mean that the first instinct is the best. You should see what happens with your first couple of cuts and see if in fact you are going in the right direction. I'm going to keep my live center in there just till I get this somewhat a little bit truer and see what I get. I don't want to hit this. I would like to keep this piece right here, this little flimsy piece that's here, and just tap into this slightly, knowing where these edges are in relationship to your turning is a little bit tricky. So let's see what we got. I'm going to start right from out here hopefully and start going in. Frequent stops and see what's going on with it. So as you can see, I have to come up a little bit closer to this top edge, and I have to go up deep enough until I start somewhat working this area. So I'll end up fairly thin on the top edge. That looks pretty good. Thickness is not bad. Could probably shave just a hair off the top on this. I was trying to get this edge right here to be somewhat uniform with the rest. Now if I did it from the inside, I would be able to achieve the same thing by meeting up to it. But because I really don't want to lose any more than what I have left over here, which is very little. And I like what this is doing. I was able to maintain this piece without interfering it. So I think that the rest will be done from the back side. I might keep a little bit of a remnant from this, or just go a little bit deeper so I can meet up with this and then just flatten up the bottom. It might maintain a little bit of that bark area that we see there. I have very little to grab over here. I actually have to go down a little bit more just to establish a slight bit better of a tenon over here. That's a little bit on the danger zone. So I'm gonna go from out here, bring this down just a little bit. So a lot of these voids, crevices, are going to maintain. I'm going to very lightly just taper this down and create a little shallow, little platter per se. It's not going to be flat on the top because the design that I got going on here really didn't allow me for it. Although it will have a slight taper on it before I get to here, which is where I start going in, but that will be fairly close to some of the edges. Look at this red color. Well, I get another lid out of this, for sure, because I'm going to, again, quarter it out a little bit with the parting tool. But I'm going to start it off already with this wider parting tool because I won't be able to reach with the other one. And again, just like before, aiming it towards the middle and end up with a little piece over there. Look at this red color. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite this red. Pretty color. Trying to see if I can wedge something in there and see how much play I already have on the piece. Not much. I need to go in a little bit deeper still. But this one is a little iffy. Might go from out here slightly to widen the curve. And there we go. Another small little disc that I can use for something else.
Oh my God, this is just beautiful.
Look at this color. Just beautiful. And beautiful burl in there. this piece, I'm going to apply some spray lacquer to this, so I can get in all these crevices that are back here. Would have a hard time buffing that, and it's too nice of a piece for me to leave rough in any way. Well, keeping the inside, keeping this as the face, definitely was a correct choice on this one, without a doubt. Because the outside doesn't have the coloring that I see in there. And the coloring that I see in there is just... I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I am barely touching this. And it's just enough to cut down any bubbles, any streaks, any runs, anything of that sort that escaped me. Look at this piece. Completely separated from here to here. That is just awesome. And aubergine juice over the lacquer, and this will give me my final step on this particular piece. This is a wow factor right now, so I really don't need to do anything else to it other than finish the base. The base, just take off the foot. Now I could literally just sand it off if I did not want to put it over there, but it's a lot of sanding, so I will do my usual. My usual approach to finishing the bottoms. Anything that's soft. I use this felt pad, but if you got something else laying around, at one time I introduced using a roller tape. And I know that not everybody started using that, but a few people did. Even my good friend Mike Walt commented on how great of an idea it was, and that he set aside, well, before he got into all the tools that he has, but he set aside a piece specifically for his reverse turning when he was doing the finishing up of the piece. I thought it was hilarious. He wasn't trying to be funny about it, but you know, it's quite an honor when you come up with something and other wood turners say, hey, I like that idea, that's a good idea. You know, I don't do anything that is going to jeopardize your workmanship or anything of that sort anyway. So if it works for me and you want to give it a shot and it works for you, more power to you. That's what it's all about. So going there with my parting, my diamond tool, and just slowly, don't have to be aggressive on it right now. Well, I probably should be telling you, when you're doing this, kind of work it from the outside towards the middle, applying pressure. And if I say that, then you're going to say, Al, but I don't see you doing it all the time. It depends on what you're working with and how aggressive you're being. But yes, if you go from outside towards the middle, it is safer. You're applying pressure towards the tailstock. But again, it depends on the situation. The skew with the tip up towards the top, I find it to do a good job getting close to the bottom without being interrupted. Again, very little pressure. And when you think you're close, 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, it's time to slow down. I've lost a few pieces because of my stubbornness and wanting to make just one last cut. And that one last cut is the cut that I did not want to be done. I should have stopped when my instinct was saying, okay, you've done enough. So now, whether if I use the drill, which normally is what I do, or I go in, set it up over here, or put it on the chuck, on my drill press, I mean, you do whatever tools you got. But there's always a way to remove them. Always nice to come out, put something on the lathe, and you think about what you're going to do, and your decision comes out to be the right decision. In this case, I think that the right call was made, maintaining as much of this beauty that was going on, even though this whole section over here separated all the way up to here. just being able to keep all these little wings that were here is just amazing. The wood grain, well, it's a fantastic burl. I'm going to be saving some of these shavings, putting them in baggies, maybe for fillers. This one, well, I did not want to give it any help. I wanted to show off everything that I had to offer. Thank you again. This was people when they contact me. I don't want to burden people and put expense on people, and it's like, you know, I'm honored. But you know, there are some people that probably need more than I do. But you know, I say that because I feel guilty, but boy, I don't feel guilty once it's produced and it gives me something like this. Just a fascinating piece.